and I can put you in. 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 I can put you in. And I can put you in. I can put you in.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for tuning in to the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I got a great show for y'all tonight. I'm light skin happy. Thank you for tuning in. The BHLC Podcast. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. BHLC Podcast. Also, I should be live right now on Facebook on my page. You should be looking at Facebook on Big Head Light Skin Comedian LB. Got a great show for you tonight. Got a great guest. I'm going to get into there here in a second. First and foremost, let me go over a couple things. Let me give much love here to 21st Germantown, allowing me to come in here and do this this evening. I'm always here every second Saturday of the month. They got a band here tonight at 8 o'clock. If y'all want to come down and support that, and some type of rave after that, so come support that here at 21st Germantown. They allow my big head to come in here every second Saturday of the month to do this. Also want to give love to the Smile Center, Dr. Kane. He's want to keep my smile tight and everything. So y'all go check him out on 7405 LaGrange Road here in Louisville, Kentucky. And then my third people I got to give love to more than anything is Nicole Scott Incorporated. She has all type of diverse clothing for all type of people. Make sure you hit that link, Nicole Scott Incorporated. She got a lot of clothes, and you probably like some of her clothes, and just check out what she's got. Now, with that said, too, also, let me talk about one more thing I want to talk about. Yeah, I was at the Louisville Comedy Club this past Wednesday night, and I'll be back here again October the 30th. So come check me out then, October the 30th at the Louisville Comedy Club. Like I said, I'm down at 21st Germantown, 1481 South Shepherd Street. I come down, great food, great drinks, just great environment. So come down and enjoy yourself, and come down here and have your drink or something, and food's good, everything's great. So, with that said, I'm ready to bring in my guest here. I'm going to take a drink of my Jack Daniels water. Now, this guest I'm getting ready to bring into you, I'm very excited about because she's a queen, a black queen that has her own bar school. But I'm going to let her elaborate a little bit more on that because I want to hear about all this, and I'm very excited about it. Matter of fact, I think that she might be the only female with a bar school here in Louisville, Kentucky. But let me give her a nice, warm, Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast welcome into this. And y'all show us some love. Y'all give it up for the one and only Tonette, the master. Y'all give it up for her till she come in here. Hey, Tonette.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
I'm doing great. I'm gonna let you talk about that too. I even put mine too, but I'm just excited as always on my podcast, and I'm glad to have you as my guest. The first thing I usually do, I always let my guests tell a little bit about themselves before we get into some things we talk about. So you can tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I am Tonette LeMaster. Born and raised here in Louisville, Kentucky. Been here my whole life. And I am the owner of, I actually have 3 businesses. I know we talked about
that's
one.
Great.
So I own LeMaster Events and Tuxes, which is a full service wedding and event planning business. And I recently added tuxedo rentals to that. So I'm kind of one-stop shop for everything that you need for weddings and events. So that's one. 2 is I own In the Mix, bartending service, which is a mobile bar
Right.
service. We are all over the state of Kentucky and Indiana, and soon to be Tennessee and Illinois. So we are certified and insured to serve anywhere within those regions. And three is in the mix bartending school. So
Okay.
the school is the
Mhm.
only licensed bartending school in the city of Louisville right now. And it is the first and only minority owned bartending school in the state of Kentucky. So that's what I
Oh
do.
wow,
The
that's great.
school feeds the bar service. So all my bartenders have been trained by me, and they work for me, and we have a
Uh-huh.
lot of fun.
That is great. Maybe I could come to their school and maybe you can get me a jobber and maybe I can mix some drinks like Bill Cosby. No, I'm just playing. I'm just
Yeah,
playing. I just
I
look.
can't cover
I think
you.
it's great.
I can't cover you on my insurance.
No, but I really think that is great. I really do. That is very very great what you're doing. The bartender, because people. You got to remember when people go out and have a drink, they do a lot of talking to the bartenders, and bartenders make them great drinks for it. They talking to them and they enjoy themselves whenever they're at a certain event. So, and that's great that that they get them skills from you. They learn it from your bartending school and everything. So, I think it's really great. And what made you want to do that? Get into that as far as bartending school, if you don't mind me asking.
The school was started during the pandemic in August of
Okay.
20. Mostly at that time, it was because people wanted something to do. I had a relatively new bar service and it was growing, and I wanted the people
Mm-hmm.
hiring my services to get the benefit of what I know. So the best way to do that was for me to train the people to work for me. And that's really how it started. And
Mm-hmm.
then people
Right.
started calling me saying, I want to learn, I want to learn. And so we took off right in the middle of a pandemic. Okay, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I'm still. I can hear you. It's a lot of. It's dragging a little bit. The internet. It's the internet.
Okay.
A little bipolar. The internet. So I can
Well,
hear you.
we can't control everything. So
That's right. That's right. So,
so
but
yeah,
but
that's basically
and
how the
like I said,
school
it's going to
started.
happen. Mhm.
Okay, it's fine.
Yes, it's just a little bit on me, which that happens every now and then. But it's just
Okay.
internet. We're gonna keep rolling through it. So
Okay. So yeah, that's
yeah, there you
basically
go.
how the school started. And what we do is it's a 5-week training program. People commit to come and
Uh-huh.
hang out with me for 5 weeks, and I pour into them everything that I can to get them situated to go out here and work. I got bartenders all over the city working, doing well, thriving. Um, I got bartenders out of the state. I have a couple in Florida. There's some in
Wow.
Indiana. So people have come from other places to come and learn from me, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm just doing what I can
Okay.
to make sure that there's an opportunity to make some money. It's a second income for some and a first income for some. So, there's money to be made in the industry for sure.
To be one. That's great that you have that platform for them to learn about bartending. So, and I ain't never been one to mix drinks. I so I guess it's why I never did want to be a bartender. I don't drink, so
I
I've
heard
always
you
just
with your
kind of been
Jack
on the
and
natural.
water.
So
I heard you Jack and water.
yeah, I'm just making my Jack Daniels water.
Keep it
So I don't.
simple.
I never have been nobody to drink. I'm more of a just a non-alcoholic type person. Let's put it like that.
Well,
But I
to
don't
be
knock
honest,
nobody
I
that do
don't
drink,
drink
as long as they
either.
drink
So
responsibly.
I don't drink either.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Well, that's great. That's a good thing. Yeah, I just know that, like I said, being a a lot of times we take it. I think people that do drink and go drink and get drinks from the bartender, they take it for granted the skills that a bartender have. If you run into a bartender and make good drinks, you need to embrace it because everybody can't do that job. At least I don't think they can. So you might
It
think
can
you
be
can because
pretty
you can make a drink at
stressful.
home,
Yeah,
and it
it
can be
can be pretty
stressful because
stressful.
you hear a lot of problems from people. Because after people people get a little extra in them and they get a little free spirit, so telling you a lot of their problems. So once they're feeling good about themselves, so that's
Well,
just part of it.
luckily,
So
luckily my I guess my background, I started in nightclubs, so
mhm.
we didn't have the opportunity to do a whole lot of back and forth because the music is really loud and it's really busy. I worked in the hood. I worked in places we took the bar stools off the
Okay,
bar so people couldn't sit down. We don't want you to
right,
sit down. We want you to get your drink and keep moving. So
that's
um
right. Yeah,
I didn't really have to start engaging that way with people until much later in my career. I've been doing this for 27 years. So.
that's good because, like I said, that's a great thing that people get to learn how to do bartending school. And you never know, I run somebody because I've been doing this podcast since 2020. I know a lot of people. If I run somebody that wants to be a bartender, I'm definitely gonna send them your way for
Well,
sure. I'm
thank
gonna do that.
you.
But here's what I really, yeah, I definitely will. Come on, I definitely will. That's what I do. Um, I want to talk about this. I want to elaborate, touch on this more than anything because it's really close to my heart. Just Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I know you're people that are breast cancer survivors. I think you are. And I wanted you to explain to people how much it means to do breast cancer awareness. I even took some off your page, put on my page that you put on there about breast cancer awareness. So explain to the people a little bit about how you feel about that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was diagnosed in July of 19. Um,
Okay.
I don't even think it had time to be a stage. We caught it very, very early, due to regular mammograms. So it's super important for us to get our mammograms because they can pick up the
Yep.
smallest details with changes
Yep.
between your previous one and the current
Hmm.
one. So that's how it happened for me. I went right into treatment. I think I had 2 weddings left that season. So I was trying to get through my weddings before we started treatment. I had 16 radiation treatments. Um, I had a
Wow.
lumpectomy, which
Okay.
just means
Mhm.
they removed the mass, but I did not have to have a
Well, good.
mastectomy. Um, I did radiation and I
Well, good.
completed radiation on my birthday, October 28th of 19. So this year I will be 5 years cancer free and officially in remission as of
Hmm.
October 28th of this year. So my story is very different from a lot of women. I had a huge
Hmm.
support system, never by myself, always people caring for me and helping me and walking with me on the journey. So but I didn't have to have a mastectomy. I didn't have to have chemotherapy. So everybody's story is different. There's several different types of breast cancer. And again, early detection is the best cure. So there we stand absolutely no chance of coming out clean and healthy on the other side if we don't go get checked. So, and I know that insurance tells you, oh, you can't get checked until you're 40. It's super important for women to pay attention to their bodies, to know your body and advocate for yourself. If you see some changes or feel some changes, go get it checked out. So don't wait until you're 40. Don't
Right.
try to wait until they say it's okay if you notice that something's wrong. So definitely get tested, get checked. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's the best message that I can give
I,
anybody.
I
It
I just
truly
feel
does
like
save lives.
right. I really do. I think that the women should get checked if they feel like they might have that be going that direction. You should get checked anyway on an annually basis anyway, just for it because early detection is the best thing for this, and I know that for a fact. I've had family members of mine that have went through breast cancer, so and it's definitely close to my heart. But I tell anybody it's always good to go get checked out anyway. Anyway, as a human being, as man or woman, you should be getting checked out once a year anyway by a doctor. I know a lot, especially I know a lot of times we don't like it too as people. Some people don't like to go to the doctor. I get that, but you have to.
Yeah,
I understand that, but you got if
you have
you only
to.
get one body, you only get one life. You got to go to the doctor so he can.
And
So
believe
maybe
it or
they can.
not, men can get breast cancer too.
And I was
So
just getting ready to touch bases on. That. I was going to ask you, and
yeah,
I heard that. I was like, "What? Yeah, man, you can get it too." And I
men can
heard
get it.
that, and
Yeah,
and like I said, that's even more reason for us men, because we definitely don't like going to the doctor to even go, because
I
if
know.
they can detect it early, we'll be all right. So, and that's why I said you have to go, because men, we can get it too, So,
You can.
and like I said, it's and to me, I know the word cancer kind of scares a lot of people, and it's like that word, the C word. I understand that, but I don't. It don't scare me. I embrace it. I embrace something that is challenging and that we can defeat if we just put our mind to it. You know what I'm saying? So we all put
The
on this
technology
earth.
that we have and the medical
And that,
advances that we have now, it's
yes,
highly curable if it's caught early, depending on what type of breast cancer you have. But it's
right,
highly treatable and highly curable. And I'm not going to say it's an easy process or an easy journey, but
right,
it can be done. And there's tons of resources out here, all kinds of organizations. There's financial benefits that are people are able to qualify for. There's cancer insurance. So I advise,
yeah,
especially young women, if they know that there's a chance they could get it at some point or cancer runs in
mhm,
their family, invest in cancer insurance. It doesn't cost a whole lot, but it comes in helpful if you ever happen to be diagnosed with it.
yep, it does. And I tell people your health is your wealth. So you
Mhm.
have to go get checked out. You have to go to the doctor because your health is your wealth. A lot of people we take it for I ain't gonna say we take it for granted, but we feel like it's not important until something happens.
Right.
It's important. It's
It's
important.
super
It really
important.
is.
Yeah.
It's super. It is, and we have to take it serious. Some people need a little more push than others to get to the doctor's office. They be like,
Yeah.
I'm all right, I can keep going. No. You need to go. I know people just don't like going. They ain't been a doctor in years, so but you have to go.
You
You
have
have
to
to
go.
go. Yeah. So, and I just like I said, I just know that this is something that's really really close to my heart. This breast cancer, whereas like I said, I got some family members that went through this. So, but I just think it's great though for what you're doing and your story that you put your story out here on my platform, and I appreciate that because somebody could be looking at this and going through it right now, and it might just uplift them to make it through another day, another week, or another month, or whatever it may be. So, and everybody's story is
Absolutely.
different, but yeah,
Absolutely.
and I agree with you on the advanced medicine. Medicine is so advanced on across the board on a lot of stuff, not just cancer,
Yeah.
on a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to go to the doctor.
No,
It's
and
just so advanced.
we don't have to die from things that are treatable anymore. We used to not
Right.
have, at least for the time, we didn't have adequate treatments, medication, even procedures were kind of barbaric before. Now they can take cancer out with just a pinch, without
Yeah.
having to do a huge incision, or recovery times are a lot faster. So, it's always going to be scary anytime they say the C word. I don't care what it is. And then once you have a
Right.
diagnosis like that, or once you have somebody close to you diagnosed like that, everything that hurts you, like, oh my God, is that cancer? You could stub your toe and you're like, oh shoot, I got toe cancer. Like you think of absolutely the worst things. But
Yeah.
truthfully, uh, we're just so much further than we used to be, so women don't have to die. They don't have to be butchered.
No,
They don't have
no, you
to
really
have
don't.
disfiguring type of surgeries that
Mm.
they don't have to have mastectomies in every case. You just kind of have to know what's going to be the best path of treatment for your life and your body and your family. We got to advocate for our families because people don't want to
That's
go,
right.
like you said. You got to make people go. You got to stay on them.
Yeah. You got to almost tell them, hey man, I'm gonna take you to a cookout, man. Come on, then they're like, oh, hold on, we're going up to the doctor's office. That's what you got to do with our people. We're going to a cookout. Look.
Not the cookout.
That's what you got to do with our people. I'm telling you, because they don't want to. You tell them you take them to the doctor. No, I'm good. I'm staying right here. Yeah, that's just
Not
what you
the
have to do with our
cookout.
people to make them go. And so, and
Mhm.
then speaking of that, I don't know. I know between blacks and whites, and whether it's Hispanic, and also this is Hispanic Heritage Month. Let me just throw it out there, and I'm putting y'all in there too. It affects everybody, black, white,
Yes.
Hispanics. It affects all nationalities, all heritages.
Absolutely.
It's not, like I
Absolutely.
tell people, diseases are not prejudice. So you have to understand that. So it affects
Yeah,
all.
and what's happening now is they used to ask you, does breast cancer run in your family? There's women getting breast cancer and men, I'm sure, that don't have a precedent for it. Like, as far as I know, nobody in my family
Right.
had breast cancer. So that you can't even go off that anymore. Like, we don't
Yeah.
know what's causing it. It could be the food we're
Yeah.
eating, the water, the environment. There's so
Yeah.
many things that could contribute to it that we can't put our fingers on, which is also why breast cancer research is so important. So anytime you get an opportunity to participate or donate to something that, if you're looking for something, a charitable donation that's going to be tax deductible or something like that, breast cancer research is a great one to invest your money in. Today we just did the Susan G. Coleman walk. We did Bartenders Against Breast Cancer. You see my shirt. Bartenders
Oh, I
Against.
like it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
So
nice shirt. I like it.
thank
Yeah.
you. I
like
I wanted something that was specific to bartenders, because so many of us, we work
Mhm.
these jobs, we work service jobs, and there's no insurance, there's no,
Yep.
time off, there's no FMLA, when you work these type of jobs. And so anytime
Right.
somebody has to suffer or go through treatment, they're off work. So the whole
Yep.
purpose of the shirt was, one, to bring awareness, and two, to acknowledge that there's young women in the service industry that are dependent on those tips and depending on
Right.
those, that
Mhm.
income. And when you're stricken
Yep.
by something like this, you can't work. You can't do that kind of work like you used to. You're tired. You have doctor's appointments and treatments you have to do. And so it does kind of cut into your income. So, I came up with this one, just one, so other bartenders could support, and
Right.
then two, so we could raise money and awareness for a particular person in this situation. But it could be any of us.
Whenever you raise money for a good cause like that, that's outstanding, and it's going to touch a lot of people's lives. It really is when you raising money for something like that. And I've did some stand up comedy shows for some homeless kids before, for HIV. I did a lot of different ones, So, and whenever it's for a good cause, hey, that's a great thing, because you uplifting somebody else. That's why I always stay humble. I always try to stay humble, because it's about always trying to. I know who I am. I know what I'm about, but sometimes it's good to uplift somebody else. That makes me feel better inside as a person. It's not always about you as a person, which is fine to be. But it don't hurt to uplift somebody else every now and then. And a lot of people, especially in 2024, we're in the millennium now, and with especially since we were 4 years out of COVID, since COVID, after COVID, a lot of people are going through it. A lot of people need a lot of uplifting. But it seems
Yeah,
like since the COVID year, a lot of people going through a lot of different things, health issues or whatever, or rather something mental. But we just have to keep going and try to uplift each other as much as we can amongst all the craziness in this world. So, but I
absolutely.
really think, yeah, that's just a great thing, breast cancer awareness, and I think it's so great. I really love that. Let me ask you, this is probably more on the personal tip. Okay, so what did you like to do? What did you do in your spare time? What did you like to do? What does Tony LaMaster like to do to unwind, enjoy something when you ain't doing everything with all your businesses? And you said you had a tuxedo business too? You had a tuxedo business?
Yeah, we do
Oh my
tux
God.
rentals.
You
um
you do okay.
I I don't, I had to think about what I like to do now. I work so much, and then I guess I didn't feel like I had enough to do. I just started my master's program
All right.
in marriage and family therapy. So now I've added school on top of trying to run three businesses. So I don't know, but I do a lot of
You
comedy
wearing a lot
shows.
of hats.
I do. I do a lot of comedy
What?
shows. Yeah, I like concerts. I like, I'm a music
Okay.
lover. I'm a huge music lover.
Okay.
When I have time, I travel.
That's
I
great.
probably will not be doing too much travel for the next couple of years until I finish this program. But those
Right.
are the things I like to do. I have two dogs. I have two dogs, so I spend time at home with my babies, and
Right.
that's really it. I'm not a I spent a long time, 15, 16 years working in nightclubs. So,
Okay.
when I retired when I turned 40, and I just, tried to focus on me, and I don't do a whole lot anymore. I'm kind of chill, I relax. I
And that's
very
smile with
seldom
that.
am out, that's not my thing. So,
Yeah, ain't nothing smile with that. See, that's part of look. I got a thing on my podcast I call LSI, Learn, Share, and Inspire. But also I got this other thing I call self-growth. And I'm all about self-growth. How can you be anything to anybody if you ain't right? So
right.
I really embrace you on that because it's all about what. That's why I asked you what do you do to unwind to keep you going. That makes you feel good, and it's about self growth. You have to take care of yourself first, so you can be good for anybody else. Even though you wear a lot of hats, you got to be right yourself in order to be
Yeah,
right for everybody else. And I firmly believe, and I told him I'm not letting no human being get in the way of my self growth, not none.
that's right.
And
That's
whatever
right.
self growth is, you have to embrace it and go with it. That's what I think. What's fine with a lot of people, they don't want to dive into their self growth or they're scared to touch it because they might go. It might be too good. So I don't know for whatever reason, but I love the fact that I've been working on my self growth for really this past year. I've been telling everybody on my podcast, and I just feel like a different person because I'm not letting
Yeah.
nobody get in the way of my self growth. Nobody.
Well, I think it's important to do things that bring you joy,
Yes.
and mine changes a lot. So, I
Yeah.
like
As you
I
get
like a
older,
lot
it
of different
grows.
things. So,
Mhm.
I try new things. I like to travel, but I like tourist traps. So, I
Okay.
want to do all the sightseeing kind of stuff.
I
But
do.
mostly, I'm gonna be honest, mostly right now, I just work. So,
I knew
I've
that. I could
built a
tell.
yeah, I work a lot. I'm at work now.
I,
uh
I could
I
tell.
built a really solid team. I
Mhm.
have I have wonderful people that are around me that are supporting me to so I can step away and not feel like everything's gonna fall apart. So
Right.
that's been huge over the last year and a half, 2 years, just to have solid people working for me, but
Yes.
also working with me. So
Right.
I trust them. I love them. They love me, and it's definitely a reciprocal relationship. I'm giving as
Mhm.
much of myself to them so that it
Right.
builds them and it bolsters their confidence. And these I'm surrounded by women. I just recently got one guy on my team, but these people
Mhm.
can do anything. They are amazing. And so we have a good time. Everybody will tell you I like to have fun, but when it's time to work, I
Good.
want the work done, and
No, it's right.
we
Same
gonna cut
here.
the bullshit off, you know. But
Right. Right.
but it's cool, I'm proud of what we built. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
allows me to be able to slide away for a weekend, or to go to
That's good.
school and not feel like something's getting missed. Um, so I'm just hoping to that it keeps going and we can keep growing, and the team's getting
Right.
bit bigger. We're staying busy. We are booked and busy through the end of the year, so that's
Right.
wonderful.
Mhm.
Um, and just trying to keep it up.
Yeah. And you will just keep pushing because I can tell you type of person got that work ethic where there's no to you you're gonna keep working until the work is
Yes.
done, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to matter with that. I'm kind of the same way in some aspect, not only with this podcast, but as well as when I'm on stage or if I put on the show. Because I put on a lot of shows here at 21st Germantown, and I love
Okay.
my comedians. I love when I host, but I'm like you. When it's time to work, it's time to go to work and go on the stage and make it happen. So, but we can kick back and have fun too. But when it's time to go to work and entertain people, we got to do it. And I'm
That's right.
I'm the same way. And that's what's about. And it's good to have a good supporting cast because
Mhm.
that makes you even feel even more comfortable knowing you got a supporting cast that depend on to be there when you need them, when you need some things handled. So, and everybody, and that's the thing about that. Everybody you ain't gonna always get along when you're gonna agree to disagree. I tell people, but long as the job get done, that's all that matters. And I tell people that more than anything, it's all that matters. Because you're gonna agree to disagree with certain people. So, but they don't mean they don't love you. They don't mean anything for you. That's just part of it of trying to get to where you're trying to get to, and what
Right.
you're doing. So, and
But
that's why I say,
it's also important to have people around you that either have the same goals or
yeah,
understand yours and can support your goal. And so that cohesiveness, you can't,
Oh,
you can't really pay for that. And so
no, you can't.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we have it.
Yeah, and that's good to have, knowing that people trust you and you trust them.
Yeah.
That's golden. I tell people in today's time, to trust somebody and to know that you can trust them, they trust you, that's golden. That's just, you don't take that for granted. So that you got a good support team. So, and I got one too, but they're just so damn comical. But I love them. I don't even want to talk about them. I love them. I love them because being a comedian is not easy. We have late nights doing comedy or whatever the case may be, but you still got to go out there and perform. And here's one thing about being a stand-up comedian, I think a lot of people don't know. Whether somebody just passed last week or somebody that's real close to me passed the other night and I got to go perform on stage the next night, I still got to perform. Even though somebody real close to me just passed, I still
But
got to perform. Somebody paid me. But that's
the
part
good
of the
thing
job.
about
That's
us
what I
is
signed up
we
for.
can find a joke in anything.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
find some comedy in any
Mhm.
situation, and
That's
you
right.
got to be able to laugh some things off just to keep
Right.
going. Sometimes you got to laugh so you don't cry.
That's
But
right. That's right.
oh, I totally get it.
Yeah, so that's why typically we still got to perform regardless of what's going on in our life. If somebody just passed, it's been time I had to do a show one time. I mean, literally right after my uncle passed. But I told him, I said, I'll be there, and I still done it because he would want me to do it, and I
Yeah.
even put him in the act. Some of the stuff he done to me. So that's why I said. But even though when I got off the stage, I was hurt inside, and I kind of cried to myself. Once I got to my car, I just know that he would want me to. So, but you have, like I said, you have to get over it, conquer that, and keep moving because that's what they would want you to do.
Absolutely.
Keep going. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, I'm telling you, it's been so great talking to you. I was going to ask you about this. I don't really don't want to touch too much. I'm going to touch just slightly on it real quick,
Okay.
and you can give your own opinion. Yeah,
Okay.
it ain't a Trump podcast, it ain't a Camilla podcast. Just your opinion. How do you feel about the politics that's going on? Because I'm all about rocking the vote, which I was going to talk about here at the end of my podcast. I want people to rock the vote for whoever you want to vote for, but just make sure you vote. Because a lot of times we don't take advantage of our voting rights. Some people can't even vote. Some people have died for us to vote. Go vote. I ain't gonna tell you how to vote, but how do you feel about the politics here in America right now, as of today?
So I do work the election polls every year.
Oh, do you? Okay. That's all right.
I feel like obviously voting is important, but the most important part is to understand your politics. I think
Yes.
that in our community there is a misunderstanding and also a fear of
Yeah.
elections, of politics and politicians. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that stems from not really understanding what's happening and how voting on both the local level and the national level affects people's lives immediately. So we don't see the direct effect, but we have to start taking some time to understand the issues. So I hear so much in our communities. It doesn't make any difference. It really does. Every vote does count. It does come down to a few votes in some counties. So um, know your politics. At least know your stance and see if you can align what you need and want for your life to something that the politicians are saying or offering. And check people's
Right.
track records. You got you
Mm-hmm.
got to you got to vote for something, but just
That's
try to
right.
understand what you're voting for.
Yeah, and that's true. You need to educate yourself on that, on what you voting for and everything. But what really disturbs me is when I've heard certain people at my job site or anywhere, just out in public or whatever, friends that I've talked to, whatever. This is one thing that really disturbs me when they say this. Oh, it don't matter who you vote for. And they don't even matter. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you the same person's probably complaining about everything the way things are in the world.
Right.
You that same person about it don't matter. It does
Right.
matter. Go
It
vote.
does
I ain't
matter.
telling you who to vote for, but it does matter. And I've
Yeah.
heard that a lot. I'm like, no, it does matter. Go vote. That's what it's about. I tell people, please go vote because it does matter and it means something. And like I said, people have died for you and everything for you to vote. So go
That's
vote.
right. That's right.
Yeah. So some people can't even vote because of their criminal record. So that's why it's so important to go vote. So go vote for it.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it's been great. It really has. I'm
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks for
I
having
am
me.
Oh, I'm very, very happy about having you. I might have to have you back. I really think you were definitely a great inspiration to this podcast. I appreciate you being on this platform on my podcast. But before you leave, you got to tell people how to get in contact with you as far as and everything you're doing, so they'll know. Because I'm going to run this podcast again, and I want my subscribers to see it. So somebody might see want to get in contact with you about maybe needing a tuxedo, or the bartender thing or something. So just throw it out there on how to get in contact with you.
Okay, so for weddings and events and tuxes, they can go to my website. It is lemasterevents.com. It's LEMASTER events with the S on the end.com. That's
Okay.
also my Facebook and Instagram information. So for bar service and bartending school, they can go to In the Mix Bar SV as in Victor C, In the Mix Bar SVC.com.
Great. And I want to do this one thing before you get off here. I want you to come to one of my shows. I'm gonna invite you because I want you to laugh. I want to see that smile there, and I want you to laugh and enjoy yourself. I even give you a little tidbit. I did a show I think before for breast cancer awareness show. I had a joke, a routine where I talked about, okay, how many people here got breast cancer? Where they all raised their hand. I said, okay, I just want y'all to know I will be checking all y'all breasts before y'all leave to make sure y'all ain't nothing going wrong with y'all. Don't worry, I'm not a doctor. I said so, but that's what I want people to laugh. I want you to enjoy, and that's what you're supposed to, because laugh is the best thing for the soul. So
absolutely,
hey, it's really,
I would love to come.
Yeah, I'm going to invite you out, and you need to unwind considering the way you work. So, and yes, there's nothing matter with unwinding. I really appreciate you being on this show. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for being on this show.
Thank you.
And if there's anything I can do, hit me up through chat message or whatever, and I'll try to help you. You know, that's just where I roll. I'm always putting stuff on my page. I don't know if you know, my page is so crazy. I'm always putting stuff on my page for other comedians, other people, because I believe in helping other people out. And that's what it's about. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. And you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
You too. You too.
Mm-hmm. Well, y'all, that was the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast. I had a great guest. I thank her for bringing that awareness of breast cancer awareness, being the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Make sure you go get checked out for that breast cancer awareness. Do it in the early part so you maybe detect something that's going on with you. And then, like she said, medicine is so advanced now, so please go check that. Also, too, I want to thank 21st Germantown again for allowing me to come in here. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast, BHLC Podcast. Subscribe. I'm on Spotify too. Get this one put on. I got to work some things out with Spotify, but I'm on Spotify too. Make sure you listen to me on Spotify. And check me out on Facebook Live, or go to my Facebook page, Big Ed Light Skin Comedian LB. I appreciate all y'all support. Tuning in this podcast. Like I said, 21st Germantown got a band here tonight at 8 o'clock, and some type of rave after the band. Excuse me. So come down, check it out, enjoy yourself, have some drinks or whatever. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll be back here the second week in November. I have another great guest, and I appreciate y'all tuning in. And I guess I can leave on this note more than anything. Like I telling her, learn, share, and inspire. And I always try to stay humble and do something for somebody else every now and then, especially with Thanksgiving coming up in next month. And Halloween's a different story. But with Thanksgiving coming up, do something for somebody else and maybe bring somebody else home and bring them Thanksgiving. I'm the one and only Big Ed Light Skin Comedian. Thank you for tuning into the BHLC Podcast. I'll see y'all next second Saturday. Much love to y'all. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Peace.